So how often, when starting your day, do you feel like you're not firing all cylinders? Whether your body and your mind's not working together, you feel a bit sluggish, or you just can't seem to get yourself going?
We all know what those are like. And one of the biggest things that we find is responsible for most of the injuries that we treat in our clinics on a regular basis, and that we all suffer in our everyday lives at some point, is that the body and the brain just aren't connected at the time of the injury, or we're not being mindful of our movements. One of the big reasons for this disconnection seems to be that the terrain that we find ourselves living in modern life that takes us out of nature and away from our natural instincts and principles. So if we look back in time at the terrain that we lived in, we see that it was a pretty dangerous environment, that every movement that we made was a matter of life and death.
Things such as we were hunting, climbing trees, fighting local clans, fishing, foraging, but the biggest thing, we're predating on other animals, but we were getting predated by other animals ourselves, so we always had to be alert and switched on at all time.
This natural movement kept us in tune with our bodies and brain, and not only developed a natural movement skill, or Taijutsu as we look at later, but also developed a deep connection between our body and our brain, and also kept us mindful of our movements and kept our mind focused and concentrated on what we were doing. However, when we look at our modern terrain, what we find is that we live in a relatively safe environment.
Unless that's Church Street and it's like the night, Chris. But when we do look at our modern terrain, it tends to be much simpler. You know, if we want food, we can go to the supermarket and take a pick. If we want to go for a swim, we can go in an enclosed, safe pool. If we get cold, we can put a coat on, or we can go in our nice warm homes. And it's due to the lack of stimulation that both our body and mind don't connect like they would have done. So it's very important that we reconnect with this, but we also rewild our environment around us so we can reenact an ancient environment that we would have lived in as an ancient person.
What we see in modern life is that there's lots of flat surfaces, limited movement opportunities. We sit for long hours in our cars and at our desks, even in our homes, and we simply just don't move as much as we used to. And this lack of movement not only contributes to this disconnection between our brain and our body, but also contributes to obesity, joint stiffness and depression, feeling lousy or low in energy or sluggish or tired.